You are now listening to the Michelle Rhett Show.
Good afternoon, world. Good morning, world. This is Michelle Rhett, a.k.a. the Holy Ghost Amplifier, and I thank you guys for listening to the Michelle Rhett Show or accepting us in our infancy. Shout out to all of our Facebook followers, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Thank you so very, very, very much. It is good to be back with you as we head into the month of August. Welcome, welcome, welcome. God has great things in store. I am excited myself through Mrs. Benita Claiborne, Miss B, my producer. We told you a lot of the exciting things that this show was going to be doing, and we're starting out day one with every promise that we made. I promised you that I'd have exciting trailblazers on this show. And so this show today will feature exciting trailblazers that I am very, very honored to introduce. I'm coming from Oakland, California, from the 2017 Pure Ministries Prophetic Conference under the dynamic leadership of Chief Apostle and presiding prelate, Bishop Anthony Willis. And so I want to thank him and his entire organization for the love that they showed to me. A big shout out to Lily of the Valley Christian Center right there in East Oakland, California. I had a tremendous life-changing time. However, after I spent several hours in church, after I spoke on 4 times, I had the privilege and the honor of going to one of the women's shelters in Oakland. I'm very much about social services and what we provide to the community. And so anytime I hear that there is an outreach organization, I try to get an opportunity to go out and see them, just lay my hands, just be in the presence, just to know how very blessed that we are, that there are people in this world that are having much, much difficulty in life, that are going through trials and tribulations that we should never forget. The Bible declares that we are our brother's keeper. And so I think it is very, very important. And so as we begin this show to talk about the social services and the plight of women and men around the country, I am honored to have with me Ariel Ministry out of, I call them Ariel Ministry, but Ariel Outreach Mission out of Oakland, California. They're going to be our special guest today. We have with us Pastor Paula Jackson and Nadine Scott. Are you there, ladies? Hello?
Yes, we are. We are here.
Yes, okay. All right. I can barely hear you, but I think you're there. I'm hoping that our audience can hear you. Welcome, ladies, to the Michelle Rhett Show.
Yes, glad to be here.
Glad that you guys are here, definitely. Glad to have you here. Highlight station. As I said, Ariel Outreach Mission is in Oakland, California, and Paula and Nadine have been actually doing this for more than 35 years. And I think the history of this great organization is very, very important that we discuss that today. So I'm going to ask Nadine if you could introduce yourself first and tell us how you got started with helping people who needed housing or who needed temporary housing as a young woman, I'm told. How did you begin, Nadine?
I came to the Bay Area in 1980, July of 1980, to go to college. I was attending San Francisco State University at that time, and I noticed that some of the students did not have a place to stay. So I began taking in some of the college students at my apartment, and I was only 18 years old. But it was instilled upon us through our parents to always try to help those that are in trouble. So that's how we basically got started. And later on down the line, as my sister moved up to the Bay Area, we kind of expanded to single women and single women with children. So that's how we got started.
That is awesome. So you were in college.
I was in college, my first year of college, just started.
And so people,
and I realized, yes. Mm-hmm.
People needed help with housing?
Yes, yes.
And were these other students, or was this just the community? Was these people in the community?
They were students. They were actual students. And
wow.
not only did I house them, but I also began to provide transport to San Francisco State University. So I actually transported the students over in my car also.
Wow. That is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And then I'd like to introduce to the audience the dynamic pastor that I met this past week in Oakland and who gave me the tour of one of the women's shelters and told me all about Ariel Outreach Mission, which I just immediately had a connection to. Everyone welcome, please, Pastor Paula Jackson.
Hi. Yes, Carla's fine, and yes, I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much for having me and my sister on your show to talk about our organization and what we're doing to help in the community of the Oakland, the Bay Area. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about Ariel Outreach Mission, please.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to just kind of pick up where my sister left off. I moved up here in 1982. And we then, after helping college students, we also started helping, began working with at-risk youth within the San Leandro juvenile system. And that led us to, then we started working with the convalescent home, with the elderly and the seniors. We saw a lot of them were abandoned. And family members would drop them off and just leave them and never come back. So we started going into the juveniles, and we were known here as the Hines Sisters. So we would go and sing in the convalescent home, sing at the prison, sing at the juvenile. We would also, we also were involved heavily in what was called the God Squad, and still is called the God Squad. As a matter of fact, Bishop Bob Jackson, of whom, I'm under his jurisdiction called the California West Coast, he actually heads that now. And so it's a very strong prison ministry. And so we did that, and then that one thing led to another. We started working at the shelters. And then pretty soon, I was told that I would open up a women's home, and wasn't too desirous to do that. But as time went on, God just opened a big door for us. I was asked if I would go and look at a building, and whichever building I took would be mine. And so we went down. We saw 8825 International Boulevard, and we also saw another place on Nay Street. But 8825 was really huge, and so we decided, women like big things, so I took the big facility. And, as far as beginning to take women in on a regular, we got everything together. The landlord, who was so gracious to us, favored us and allowed us to move in, didn't ask for anything. She said, just do ministry here. If you just do ministry, I'll work with you. And so we were there for about 4 months before we even started paying rent. God gave us a lot of favor, and he set his approval upon this. And so since that time, we have been bringing in women and their children to allow them to stay at the shelter. And what we do is we work with them to get on their feet and in a position where they can take care of themselves and or their families. We provide them with a host of services. And once they come in, that which would include case management, we address literacy problems, work with essential skills, and we have a career closet and other clothing because sometimes the women come with just the clothes on their back if they're a domestic violence situation, crisis. And then we also provide health and nutrition. We also teach them how to make healthy meals. We provide counseling to them and to their children, advocacy, support. We have a food pantry of which we work with the Alameda County Food Bank, and then we give out food every day as needed. And then we have our set days to give out food bags on every 2nd and 4th of each month. But if people do need food outside of those 2 days out of the month, they can call us either through 211, through the Alameda County Food Bank, or, by word of mouth, whoever refers them. We also provide parenting classes to our women, because a lot of our young ladies, they're in their 20s. The ladies that come to us, they're, in our 20s and 30s, and the parenting piece is much needed. A lot of our children are, I hate to say this, but they're kind of out of control. And it's not, the parents, I think the women are just young and then out of, not really focused in, because they're overwhelmed. And so what we do is we try to come in and work with them to how to, work with their children. And we also, we have, like I said, a lot of other classes that we provide to them. We also work with a lot of the major companies like Walmart, Safeway, in order to help these women get jobs. So we try to network. We are often building relationships with different companies that will help us to get our ladies to work. We teach money management, so we want them not only to get a job but learn how to, once they start getting their checks, we want them to know how to manage their money so they can get into a permanent housing situation and be able to manage their homes without becoming homeless again. So we want to break that cycle. So we're doing everything we can to help put these ladies' lives together. We have youth enrichment programs for our young children, which includes music. We do advocacy for them as well. We actually visit the schools if they're troubled. If there's trouble at school, we'll go to the schools and intervene, do whatever we can to intervene for them. We also offer mentorship. So
jump in there to give you a break.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot. Oh my goodness, that is a lot, and we thank you so much. We thank both you and Nadine and all of the workers that I know you have volunteers that are working at the shelters and that are participating in these programs as well. And we just praise God for services like you. And whenever you're doing the will of God, He always makes a provision. And so I can truly understand how you got in this building. He said whatever building that was selected, you got in, and that you all didn't have to pay anything for 4 months. That is just the way God works, and so definitely we're just so honored to have you guys on the phone. I did want to piggyback off on some of the things that you did say. You talked about this housing for women. This is temporary housing. Can you tell us how that program actually works? How long? What's the average that women stay there? Can you only have female children there? You tell us a little bit about that. The average woman that comes, the stay that she has, and whether or not it's opened up if you have, if you have different gender children, is that opened up for those individuals as well?
Yes, we take the women and children in. The children do have to be small enough to sleep with the mom because we only have so many beds. They can stay. We start them off with up to 21 days because we believe if we can get them in and immediately start working with them, find out what their needs are, we can actually help them to get, and we have been successful in this, getting them into either a longer-term transitional housing program and or in a permanent housing situation. That would mean an apartment, rental, a rental, either apartment or a house. So because some of our ladies, they do have Section 8, and while they have the certificate, they're still waiting for something to come through, or so we help them in their search of finding, permanent housing. If that doesn't come through, then that's how they end up in the transitional in a transitional home. And the transitional homes can keep them anywhere from up to 9 months to 2 years. It just depends on the program, that we find for them or that they find for themselves, because we do want the ladies to be, involved in, we're not giving ladies a handout. We're giving them a hand up, and we want them to become, be self-sufficient. So as long as they're participating and helping themselves, then we, don't mind working with them to help them in their quest to, to find permanent housing and employment, things of that nature. So, and the longest, I'll tell you this, is that we've had ladies stay with us anywhere from 3 days to up to the 21 days, as well as up to 3 years. So it just depends. Each case is different. Some of our ladies are in college, so it's going to take them a little while to get, it may take them a little longer to get on their feet because they're trying to complete their education, and they need more time. So it's just like I said, or some of them might be in a training program, a work training program, and it could be 6 months to a year. So it really depends on how long they stay with us. Depends on their situation. So it's case by case. Did that answer?
Absolutely wonderful. Okay. That did. It's not a question. I really want you to share that, but that definitely, that's very, very important, because, when you talk about transitional housing, many of those programs have very, very strict rules. And where we see the lax rules is usually when it's a mission or when it's a related to a church or it has some type of religious background, charitable background. That's where we see more flexibility. So I'm just very, very honored, to know that. Tell us a little bit about, before we get into why you guys are on this call today and on the show, a little bit about the Oakland area that both shelters are in and the
Nadine.
demographics of those areas.
Nadine. Ms. Scott. Okay. The demographics we have. We serve mostly the Latino and the Latino and the African American population, and we're reaching. We're serving. We have over, I would say over maybe 150 calls a week that we're receiving. And assisting. We do so. We're doing. I want to make mention of this is that we're doing assessments with each client. That over the phone, and those assessments can run anywhere from 15 minutes, depending on the case, from 15 minutes to an hour, and maybe an hour and a half, and which is very time-consuming, but we love doing what we do, and we feel it's a great need. I know that if it was me, I would want someone to help me, and so that's kind of how I look at it, I wouldn't want to be in a position on that these ladies are in, and I feel just compelled to help them, because a lot of times we walk past the homeless and we say, well, that's that's not my problem, but we have to look at it as though we're all step, they said one step away from being homeless, and so nothing is set in stone.
Right.
So we are blessed, and I preached on yesterday. God's mercy endures forever throughout all generations, and that's the only reason why if we're not in that state of being homeless, it's only because God's mercy endures forever. It's just because of His mercy. It's nothing that I've done. So I hope, but we're serving, like I said, primarily the African American population and the Latino
population in Oakland?
Yes, in Oakland.
Now, you mentioned preaching. So you are an ordained pastor. You have a church in Oakland as well?
I do.
Well, you want to tell us just a little bit about that?
We do have. We do have a church called God is Good Ministries. I attend. My husband and I are the pastors of the church, and we have our services on Sundays at 9:00, and we, basically love the Lord and doing everything we can, even through what happened was we started the mission first, because a lot of people go to church and you have people who come and they need help, and I would see so many people turned away. No, we can't help you, and that bothered me as a young person. It bothered me that people would be turned away from the church, folks, because they didn't have any resources to help the people, or they weren't willing to take the time out to assist those individuals, to help them get the support services that they needed. So Ariel was actually, it became a burden on my heart. What we're going to do, I would like to have an outreach that cater to, the spiritual and the natural. I would like to have an organization that's a one-stop shop. So we did everything we could to build strong relationships and within the community. We build our resource directory. And now we've served over 90,000 men, women, children, and families since the conception of our organization. And we have a very strong resource network. And so pretty much people can come to us if they need their PG&E bill pay, and that's whether they come to the church or whether they come to the organization. If they need help with their PG&E, if they need rental assistance, if they need senior housing, almost anything you can think of, if they need employment, as I mentioned earlier, almost anything you can think of. And if we can't help them personally, we can direct them and put them on, sometimes I've made calls to places and you get to, make 10 and 15 calls before you can get the support that you need. And but we're a one-stop shop where we connect you to the source. The buck stops here. Call this number, and these are the people that can help you with your situation. And the only way you won't get help is if you're not serious about improving the quality of life for yourself. If you're just looking for a handout. So,
Amen.
That's why we built that's one of the reasons why. And then so once we got Ariel situated and everything was in place, then we started the church. Because now if people come in off the streets, we're in the heart of East Oakland. East Oakland is a hard area. And so when we're around the homeless all day, we're around, everything that you can think of takes place on that strip, International Strip. And so people walk in off the streets into our facility, and we don't have to turn them away if they need food, if they need hygiene products, if they need groceries, if they need clothes, they come. I tell them, you've come to the right place today. We can help you. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. I didn't want to get too far into it because I want to make sure that we talk about a little bit of this later in the show. But I want to, before we go to break, I want you to tell us why you're on the line today, why you're on the Michelle Rhett Show. You've got a very big opportunity facing Ariel Mission that we want to make sure that we talk about not once but probably twice on the show. So can you just give us the backdrop as to what kind of help can our listeners do for Ariel Outreach Missions right now?
For the Ariel Outreach Mission, we are working on a project with Macy's. Macy's has a charity challenge out. It's a Macy's Shop for a Cause challenge, and up to $300,000 in cash prizes will be awarded to local charities across the country. And so what it is that the charity that raises the most money online that charity will receive $100,000 plus other cash prizes, leading up to the 9th. And so, so in essence, if our charity, Ariel Outreach Mission, raises the most money online on our Macy's webpage by August the 9th, 2017, our agency will receive a prize of $100,000. And, this would really help at-risk women and children around the Bay in so many ways. And so we're asking people if they, would please, go online and donate and help us out, and with a $5 donation or more is what we're asking. The Macy's is asking to donate to the charities, and by going to www.crowdrise, that's C as in cat, ROWDRISE.com/Ariel, ARIEL -outreach, OUTREACH. If they would go there, they could pledge their support. It's very quick. and fast. As a matter of fact, it's faster than PayPal. I think it'll take them 1 minute or less to do everything. And if they could donate, this would help us to get to our goal of trying to win this $100,000, which it takes us about $120,000 a year just to run the shelters. We have no paid staff. It's a volunteer-based organization. And so when people donate to our organization, they not only get a tax write-off, but all of their dollars are going directly to the organization to help keep our programs and our services and shelters running.
Wow, well, I think that's very, very important. Everybody, it's a worthy cause. This is a worthy cause. Take it from your girl, Michelle Rhett, the Holy Ghost Amplifier. This is a worthy cause that we support Ariel Outreach Mission, and they have very little time. August 9th. August 9th is that deadline that they've got to receive donations in order to receive a matching gift from Macy's, a charity campaign. I think this is an incredible opportunity, and, of course, just $1 from you provides something to the women and the men and children that they have served, more than 90,000 in the years that they've been in existence. So remember the website, www.crowdrise.com/Ariel-outreach is where you're going to donate. They're asking for $5 or more. So we're talking about something each of us can do. We're not talking about big, giant donations have to come in from everybody. Everybody, each one can reach one. And so I'm asking that you do this, and that those that have followed me on all of my social media venues, those that follow me on my radio station, WFAX in Virginia, those that have followed me on my Church at Risk show, I'm asking all of you to consider a donation to a very worthy cause to help women, men, and children in the Oakland area. So right now we're going to take a quick break, and we will be we'll be back in about a minute or so, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so Ms. B, take us away.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Nadine, I think she dropped off. Nadine?
Oh.
I'm trying to get her to call back.
Okay.
Oh, let me call her on the other phone.
Okay, yes.
Sorry about that. I don't know if she could have gotten back onto the phone line with us talking.
All right.
So
what we're going to do, we're going to talk just so you guys can hang up. We're going to talk for 15 minutes more.
Okay.
And then I handle the closing of the show. I want to, talk to the closing.
So do you need me to still be on there right now?
Paula, put your phone on mute.
Okay. Okay, you may put it on mute now or wait?
And I was thinking about quitting, but I couldn't get with it.
Hello?
Being better to be at a business. All you know is when it's only the beginning. Can I get away? Can I get away? Can I get away? Linda, just listen. Linda, just listen. I ain't been listening. I get away. Get out your business. Yo, you gonna feel it. All I just listen. No, I ain't just. No, I ain't just. Give me your attention. Hey, look, for that love, I ain't missing. I want to say, girl, like Steph Curry. What else be on there? Out of Kenya? Yeah. Whole team, out of Kenya. Coming from Atlanta, gotta go. Did it for the shit. On the road, started the 50 shows, got the in-the-know, I'm back, I ain't know. Started feeling like a winner. Then they say I'm making music for the center. Man, I'm just trying to win a center. Do what I gotta do it for the kid up. So don't get with it, cause I know you really feel it. Can I get away? Can I get away? Can I get away? regret. Here we go. Can I get it? Can I get it? No, you can't. No, I ain't love. Yeah. We came up.
All right, are we back? I think we're back. We have had a good break, and I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me, Michelle Rhett, on the Michelle Rhett Show, as we have talked to the owners of Ariel Outreach Mission in Oakland, California, Pastor Paula Jackson and her sister Nadine Stott, who started the entire ministry many years ago. Very honored to have them here and to have them here and to have had them address everything that they're doing in the Oakland community to reach so many residents of the Oakland community and to provide services for them, everything from employment services to housing to temporary housing and long-term. If you heard Pastor Paula talk about some of the women are there from 21 days or 3 days up until 3 years, that they also help college students, and so that is just really, really, really important that they have helped so many people through the work that they are doing in the community. Pastor Paula, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. Good. Yes, so welcome back to the last few minutes as we talk about the dynamic work that Ariel Ministries Outreach Mission is doing. You mentioned earlier that there is a deadline to this quest to receive funds from charitable funds so that they can be matched by the Macy Charity Challenge. And so I want you to talk about that before we go off. But I just want you, Bill, to tell us how the services, because what I saw when I came to the shelter on Saturday, and I saw the photos, the collage of photographs that you had that showed how you guys have reached so many families, so many people. And so I'd like to talk about that because that's what people can't see. I know what you offer, but tell us of what you have been offering as well. What has been some of the impact? Give us a good success story, because we know that they're out there, and I think that encourages people. I believe that there's a woman, there's a man, there's a child somewhere that is homeless and that has struggled with homelessness or struggled with paying their bills that needs a word of encouragement. And I think just telling them what can happen, what has happened since you've been in operation, I think that would really encourage people. Can I please?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can I have my sister share that with you? Is that okay?
Yes,
Nadine?
You can.
Okay, thank you. This is Nadine Scott again, and thank you for the space. We had a situation where a young lady was abused. She was slashed. She was across her chest. She was told she would never amount to anything. The Lord blessed that young lady was able to go to college. She received her certificates as an RN, her degrees and whatnot. She's a registered nurse. And not only that, but she's now able to train nurses. She has a BSN and a PCN. So that's, and the good thing about it is she's one of our best devoted volunteers. That's just one story of a person that wasn't supposed to amount to anything. We've had supervisors on the job that were sleeping in their cars. We've had managers of different manufacturing companies and so on and so forth, attorneys that stayed with us and are doing wonderful now. They were just going through a hard time, a hard period in life. So it's just a blessing that we were just there to offer a bed and offer services, and look at them now. They're thriving.
That is amazing, Nadine. Yes, I saw the pictures. The picture of it's definitely, when you look at the pictures and you see people and see what God had in store for them just from them stopping through and being serviced by Ariel Missions, Outreach Missions. So I know that there is so much proof, so many testimonies everywhere, and that you guys are doubly blessed because of all that you do to serve the community. Nadine, tell us about your role now in Ariel Outreach Missions. What is it exactly that you're doing now? What are some of the things that you're involved with yourself as a part of being co-owner of this mission?
Well, my job as the executive director is to watch over the whole entire operation for Ariel Outreach Mission. And so not only do I watch over every aspect of the organization, but I also write the grants for the organization. So we have to continue to not only get funds in by individual donations, but we write small foundation grants, and we are very grateful for those. The Safeway Foundation, Enterprise Foundation, Enterprise Holdings, the Lowberry Foundation, Santa Barbara Bohenic, those that are helping us to continue the work that we do. There are so many others that are helping, New Hope Church and
Royal Neighbors of America,
Royal Neighbors of America,
Station 55 Fire Department, Random Acts, the Black Firemen Association, Caesar Gracie Fighters, Caesar Gracie Fighters.
Wonderful. These are the ones that help keep us going. And Catholic Charities of the East Bay, Rice Bowl, and Alameda County Community Food Bank, where we get some of our food and supplies. So it's very important. We all try to partnership together so that we can get the job done. So basically, I've been at my sister's side now. We've been together now for 35 years, and this is all out of love. We've never taken a salary. We don't take a salary. We have no salary staff. This is all volunteer work, and we are very grateful for those on our staff, the doctors, the nurses, the counselors, the food workers, everyone that helps to make this operation work in the community. We're very, in my own council woman, council member Desley Brooks, and in our other area, council member Larry Reed, Mayor Libby Schaff, and all those that are assisting to help keep us in the community. We're very grateful.
Well, the community is very grateful to you because you are providing an incredible service, and our prayers for you is that you do continue to, as you're continuing to do your work, that you become more in tune to a lot of the grants out there for these types of shelters. There is a large network, as you've tapped into some of the small foundational grants as well. The main thing is to take, as you all have done, take something small, the parable of the 10 talents. Take something small that was given to you and to broaden it for the kingdom of God. And that's what you guys are doing. And I see, more grants coming into that organization, or more partnerships with some of the organizations that could provide for more of what you do, and getting some of the other organizations to come in and supplant some of the services that you have. I think that people believe that when they are missions or when they are a nonprofit that they cannot take salaries. And I know you do it out of love and you don't take salaries and you only have volunteers, but there is funding for salaries for those types of positions as well to provide you to provide that in the future, to know that. And so I know we'll talk later about that. But I just think that what you have done with little, you have made extremely much, and it has blessed the people of Oakland. And I am sure that many of those people no longer live in Oakland, and so your blessing has continued to reach other cities across the United States.
Yes, it has.
And so that's why we wanted you, the Storm Talk 365 family and the KTGDS family wanted you guys on this show today, because our network is very large, and we know that there are people that are sitting here listening, or that will listen to us on Facebook, that will listen to us on Twitter and YouTube later today. They'll listen to us through Spreaker.com, which is one of the largest podcast stations on the Internet. They will listen to our show, and they will hear about these services, and they will then understand what they can do. So tell us some of the things that the regular people in the community who are listening to this call, who are not a part of corporations, what else can they do besides the challenge? So tell me first some of the innovative things people have done as individuals, and then let's talk again about this challenge as we end this show.
Well, recently we had a group, boys team, come up from Lafayette with Miss Annette Robeson and her team, and they helped us plant a garden. We need to replenish that garden. We need to do that again. And there are things that people can do to help us around the shelters, as far as we have a fix-it cleanup day. People can come and help within the 2 facilities that we have and help us to make it look nice and on the inside and on the outside, because we do believe in keeping our places very clean, inside and outside. So that's something that we do a couple of times a year, is a Fix-It Cleanup Day, and that's coming up soon. People can volunteer and come and help us.
And we can use some help with our vans. I'm sorry.
When is the Fix-It Cleanup Day? Can you announce that now?
We're actually working on that right now, and as we speak, we're working on the date. So we haven't gotten the date yet, but as soon as we get it, we definitely could let you know, and maybe it could be added to the information that you'll be posting, if that's okay with you. And would that be okay?
Not a problem. That's fine. Anything that you want, that's what we're here for. That's why we're asking, because we want to make sure that people understand that a lot is needed. A lot is needed. Yes. And I kid you not, when you get a grant writer and you have someone writing grants and you tap into these huge foundations that give to these shelters and to these missions, these outreach missions, some of them receive large grant amounts per year. And you're talking about a budget without any salaries of $20,000 or so, you say? And so that budget really is always, 7 to 10 times higher than what we think it is. That's if you were fully functional and operating with the people that you need and having all of this, because there are organizations that do the cleaning, that provide funding for cleaning. There are organizations that provide construction work as far as, minor construction work to public facilities and stuff. And so there's a lot of things that I believe God is introducing into Ariel Outreach Mission's path. And so,
Michelle, you just said it, Michelle. We do need.
I wrote it down. Go ahead and tell her.
We do need maintenance on our building, Michelle. One of our buildings is up. We need maintenance. We need a contractor. We need carpenters to help us on one of our buildings that's falling apart in the rear. So that's another thing. We need grant writers to help.
Or just companies that there are companies out there, that actually volunteer to help people. I heard about one company, and we're going to be trying to give them a call. That's all they do is volunteer. They travel and volunteer to help, do general contracting services. But we are looking for companies that can help us in this area.
They can't help in that area. Okay.
That can help us in that area, and then we also need mechanical work on our vans. We had one van that was ruined. We've never seen it. The insurance company said they've never seen it, where it mildewed all through the whole van. We were getting ready to use it to transport, and we transport all the time, picking up our women and children and families, and we were hoping to get a van from Ford donated to the organization. That did not happen. So now we are, hoping and praying that God will send us a van. We have a 14-passenger van and a 7-passenger van. And, we just need either a mechanic to work on the van, the 14-passenger van, or, if we can replace it with a donated van and then get another 7-passenger van, that will really help out the organization so that we can continue to support, transport our families. Right now we have some of our volunteers transporting and our clients, our clients and our children.
Right. And then, all right, we'll talk more about this.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to talking to Ariel Outreach Missions after this project is over. But I want you to very quickly, because I'm hearing a lot of things, and that we may be able to make some suggestions to you.
Okay.
And then our listeners can make suggestions as well, and that's the whole purpose of getting your voice out to our more than 600,000 population of listeners. And so one of the things that I want you to end with is go ahead and tell us a little bit, repeat the information on the Macy's.
Yes, I can do that. Again, if Macy's has the charity challenge, Shop for a Cause challenge, and what it is that they will give the charity that raises the most money online $100,000 plus other rewards, leading up to the August the 9th deadline. And we're just asking if everybody would just, donate something, $5 or more. The max is $10,000, but the minimum is $5. And if everybody can, everybody that's hearing this radio broadcast, if you would just donate to help us out, it would help us to continue to serve our women and children who are in grave need. You can go to www.crowdrise, that's crowdrise.com/Ariel, ARIEL-outreach. That's you go there, you click on that. It only takes less than a minute to donate to that. Again, that's www.crowdrise.com/Ariel-outreach. And if you could pledge your donation, they accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Android. Again, that's www.crowdrise.com/Ariel-outreach. And if you don't feel comfortable donating online, although you can still donate to the organization regularly, monthly, or do a one-time, you can donate to the organization by sending your donation to P.O. Box 5035, Oakland, California, 94605. That's P.O. Box 5035, Oakland, California, 94605. And our office number is 510-978-5844. So if you like to donate by mail because you don't feel comfortable donating online, we welcome you to do that. We can use help on a regular basis. Most of our donations come through donors like yourself, and the grants are just a small portion. But most of our donations, as all other charities, the donations come from people like yourself. So your support will be greatly appreciated. And I wrote a song. It's called If Everybody Reach One, We Can Make a Difference. And if you can help us to continue to reach that one or more, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nadine Stout from Ariel Outreach Mission of Oakland, California. Thank you on behalf of every family that you've ever helped, on behalf of every individual, on behalf of the men, women, and children of Oakland that you have served for more than 35 years. We are honored to have had you on the Michelle Rhett Show, to be the first presenters on the Michelle Rhett Show. It has been truly a delight. We have learned so much, and we have been humbled by the experience. To my audience, I'm saying to you. I'm asking you to help Storm Talk 365 at WKTGDSradio.com in helping Ariel Outreach Mission to raise money for this dynamic program. They need your help. There are people that need your help. It doesn't matter how small the donation. We just need your help. And so you've heard the website, www.crowdrise.com/Ariel, ARIEL /outreach. So make sure that you go to that website and that you're able to give money, and also the address was given as well. We're going to post it on all of our sites so you will have the information. Facebook information, also have the address that was mentioned and the telephone number to the office of Ariel Outreach Mission. Ladies, once again, thank you. I have enjoyed you on this show. I appreciate you. I appreciate all that you are doing, and whatever we can do to make recommendations or to assist you in any way, we're going to be doing that as well, okay? So this is a partnership, and I'm going to sign off from you guys, and I'm going to do my last spiel to my audience. But thank you very much. Have a blessed week, ladies.
Thank you.
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Audience, to our audience, we want to thank you for being on the show and for listening to us and for ensuring that you heard. We wanted to make sure that you heard all of the wonderful things that Ariel Outreach Mission is doing. And I just wanted to tell you in closing from Michelle Rhett herself, all I try to do in life is to help others. There was a time in my life when I woke up in the morning and asked God, what can we do to help someone else? And He would give me, so that I got to the point where I stopped asking. It is one of my greatest regrets that I stopped asking what I could do to help others. We have to ask that. We have to remember that we are our brother's keeper. And I love all of you guys that are listening, all of you that have never seen me, all of you that support me in all that the Lord is doing in my life. And my prayer is that He is astounding you right now, that God would invoke the spectacular in your life and show you things and take you places that you've never been before. I know this. I know that God is true, and I'm doing it for Christ. You are doing it for the right reasons, and therefore God will pay you back. He is a vindicator, He is a restorer, and He is, of course, the supernatural increaser of all things great. God desires that we live a life full of passion, and so find your passion and make sure that what you know about passion is that passion has nothing to do with your self-wants. Passion has to do with kingdom needs, and God is concerned. He wants you to live life to the full till it overflows, according to John 10:10. All right, so we're talking about living our best life now for the kingdom and doing work in the kingdom, as we witnessed today through Pastor Carla and Nadine Stout, Carla Jackson and Nadine Stout, her sister, who started Ariel Outreach Mission. And so I just want you guys to be reminded of that. It is an humbling experience for many of us who have houses, for many of us who've never had to reach out. You heard Pastor Carla say on the show today that they've even helped supervisors and attorneys and people in high-level positions who have lost their way or ran into a crossroad of life. I have been there. I came homeless, so I have been there. I know what they're talking about. I know what it feels like. Never went to a shelter, went to live with someone, and that person victimized me. And so it is something to learn from. Those people are most vulnerable because they really need sincere help of truly gifted people or people that have a heart for God's people and are willing to help them. So my prayer for this week is that we all reach out to someone and recognize that everyone has a need, and ask yourself, don't just ask God for miracles. All right? This is Michelle. Don't just ask God for miracles. You have to become a miracle to someone else. And we can all do that with something very small. Taking a dish over to someone. You know they've lost someone. You know they're out of work. Take something over to them. Doesn't cost much for you to add a little bit more to the dinner that you're preparing for your family, and reach out and touch someone else's lives. We can do it. There is no need that we have so many homeless and impoverished people in the United States, one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It is because the indictment on the people for their selfishness is evidenced through homelessness, through domestic violence, through all of the people that really need our help that we turn our backs away from. I know there's scandalous people out there. I know there are people that have operations in which they're trying to ruin us all, trying to take money from everybody, but the majority of folk really need our help. And so in closing, I'm just going to ask that you think outside the box, make the world a better place through your actions. Somebody's. I know it's a cliche. If you haven't heard it in a long time, you need to listen to Donna Ross's song. Reach out and touch somebody's hand, touch someone's life. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you, or hearing from all of you, as we take the Michelle Rhett Road on the road, Michelle Rhett Show on the road. And also I invite you to listen to my show on Storm Talk 365 on Fridays at 12 noon and Sundays at 2 p.m., the Church at Risk live radio show. That is also available to all of Twitter, Michelle Rhett. You can also look at some of our shows on YouTube as well. All of our shows will be posted on YouTube. So until we meet again, I bless you. I bless you. I extend the greatest favor from heaven towards you and your family. Be blessed and have a great week, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.